Critical social issues and human rights abuses have gone underreported in the city of Chicago, according to Students for Human Rights, a student organization at the University of Chicago. It is their belief that the systematic underreporting in the mainstream media regarding police brutality, gender violence, racial discrimination, and public housing issues, among other things, has produced a skewed portrait of the city that they say too often relies on tired stereotypes and hasty research. They also stated that the media has a crucial role to play in this culture by creating more opportunities to document rights abuses and to listen to the voices of all Chicagoans, particularly in underrepresented communities with groups such as African Americans, women, immigrants, working people, youth, residents of public housing, people affected by discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation, those dependent on the city services, as well as others. For these reasons, the students recently created a forum titled Local Reporting on Human Rights Issues in Chicago on May 10th at the Experimental Station in the Woodlawn neighborhood. The forum featured 5 award-winning media professionals to discuss the challenges and effectiveness of writing on human rights abuses in the city of Chicago from outside or on the fringes of the mainstream media.
The so-called mainstream media is clearly ruling class media. It's owned by and serves the interests of the same people who do all the things that you were talking about, making connections. That's the connection. As long as you expect the ruling class media to tell the story of the oppressed people, of the working people, of the poor people, you will always be misled and disappointed because they won't do it.
The Panthers end up having their own newspaper is for that very reason. Because a lot of things wasn't being reported in the mainstream media.
An unforeseen and pretty negative consequence. So I guess my question is, what responsibility do human rights reporters have in what they print and in what happens?
I mean, your ultimate responsibility as a journalist is to the facts as we come to understand them. And, in terms of the impact on public policy and what happens and how things unfold, I mean, it's dangerous to be too grandiose in your sense of how much power you have. Where you do have a degree of power, or at least a responsibility, is to contribute to a sound diagnosis. The prescriptions of public policy.
The second question is just as journalists and activists, I don't know, all of you think of yourself as activists as well, but sort of where do you see that sort of conflicting sometimes, or not? And, you can speak to that a little bit.
Question. Conflict between writing about human rights and becoming a human rights activist. It seems to me like there's a line that I try not to cross, which is I don't advocate for reform. I don't attend demonstrations as a participant. I don't speak at rallies. I report what's out there. And the reason why I don't cross that line is because I still have some credibility, I think, in the police department. Police officers still talk to me.
Curious about what you mean by national.
I'm sorry, what do you
mean by national?
Well, specifically the way that national issues are portrayed in the big newspapers like New York Times, Chicago Tribune, and the way that discussions and articles and even politics are portrayed in a way that is very anti-political, completely evades real issues.
I think starting to have an official public conversation about it is the first step towards greater change in the media and in Chicago, and more social
What you hope
justice.
to accomplish here today, you think? Or what?
Well, I think we wanted to get a handle on what the state of human rights reporting is in the city of Chicago, and to find out how people might be able to affect change, to engage with the mainstream media, to get a sense of how to get these issues out on the table a little bit more, and just to get some discussion going, even to just be inspired by the panelists we have.
What I hope would come out of today's panel discussion would be, I guess, some inspiration of the people in the audience, that they would continue to press other journalists to cover these issues and would cover them themselves. There's now so many ways that ordinary individuals can access the public.
Hopefully, I'm hoping that the students get a better understanding of what they can do to change the world. And the only way that they can do that is by listening to people like actual people who actually live in the development and live in the world, like for instance what John Carwell did with the John Birch case, and also what Jamie Cavan did concerning police brutality issues. The students can change this. I always tell people before I leave anywhere, we the people. These issues can be solved once we the people get involved.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.